Okay. In the pending topics, I give a brief about sling models and STL and OEJ config as well. So OEJ config, we can read the values dynamically by using R7 annotations. Whatever the R7 annotations we discussed in the in the last session, R7 annotations. R7 annotations are object class definition and attribute definition and at the rate designate, at the rate designate, at the rate object class definition, and at the rate attribute definition, and at the rate designate, at the rate designate. At the rate object class definition, it will make a class as the dynamical. Attribute definition meaning it will make a properties as dynamical. Meaning we can read the values dynamically. We can read the values dynamically. Usually we can take this one as the interfaces. That interfaces we can map the interfaces with the class by using at the rate designate annotation. At the rate designate annotation. We'll take the dynamic values. That values can initialize with like a class instance variables. Meaning you can take it as the parameters, and that we can use this keyword and all, and then we can initialize the instance variables. So the main purpose of this OICA configurations, we can pass the dynamic values. So every time no need to go to the code base and no need to change the values. If you change the values in the code base, it has to move every time SDLC process. If it go the SDLC process, it will take obviously more time. Okay, so every environment, the code has to be deployed, dev environment testing and pre-prod, prod. So it will be take to live whatever. If you change a small change in code also, it might be take at least 15 to 20 days in the live. Before the live, it will be take at least 15 to 20 days. Okay, instead of doing the hard coding, we will pass the dynamic values. Meaning in some in the real-time scenarios, we will give the some dynamic APIs and dynamic values that uh, we will map using these all the annotations: object class definition, attribute definition, and at the rate designate, at the rate designate, at the rate designate. And here we have the few of the annotations like at the rate activate, at the rate activate, and at the rate deactivate, and at the rate modified. This is the service life cycle actually. So human has the life cycle like human will be born and he can survive some duration of some time, and finally he will die, right? So similarly service also have the life cycle. Servlet is also having the life cycle. Servlet is different, don't confuse, okay? Servlet has the different life cycle, service has the different life cycle. Servlet have the life cycle is init and service and destroy. That is the service servlet life cycle. But this is the service life cycle. Service life cycle is activate, deactivate, and modified. Modified. I will write here. Activate, modified, and deactivate. Activate meaning so the service we can take the values that the service that method you should be called in the activate. Then only the method will be activate. Activate. If you want to change any manipulations, you can do using the modified method. And deactivate meaning you are removing, we are deactivate the service completely, temporarily or permanently by using the deactivate method. This is the service life cycle. Servlet life cycle is the different. And here we used one more annotation, that is the at the rate reference annotation. Reference annotations meaning dependencies. Dependencies meaning libraries. So any framework which contains predefined jars. If you want to inject predefined services to the current um, Java program, then you can use the @reference. @reference is the annotation which we can inject predefined dependencies to current service. Current service. So these are the annotation. These annotations also called as R7 annotations. R7 annotations. So in this area, anyone have any doubts, any queries? Any queries?
No, sir.
Everything is clear with the OISA configurations, how we can take the values dynamically, how we can initialize the instance variables. R7 annotations. R7 annotations is called OISA configurations. This is clear or not? OISA configurations is clear. Any questions in this area? OISA configuration. OISA configuration. In this area, any queries?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Clear, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, clear, sir.
Yeah. So after that, we'll give the brief about the client lips. So generally, in the market, like whoever as a in the previous days, I would say if the AM as a backend developer, they can specifically not only in AM domain, any domain in I would say previous days how they hire all the companies. If the person is the only the backend, then they can hire only as a backend developer. And if the person only the belong to a front end, then the companies can hire uh, uh, the person as the front end developer. But all the companies nowadays they are working, they are looking for whoever have the knowledge on both front end and back end. Whoever the knowledge on both front end and back end. Okay, AM also they will be treated as the full stack developer. Full stack developer meaning they can the I would say they feel like AM developer meaning the person that has knowledge on both areas, front end and back end. In the front end case, we have the technologies like CSS and Bootstrap, React, Angular. Okay, these are all the front end technologies. In the front end technologies, as a AIM developer, you should be familiar with front end technologies. Okay, in the real time scenarios, in the project, front end people also will connect to like if they stuck anywhere, meaning if the person whoever is working in the front end domain, and then they stuck anywhere as a they might be have the 2 or 3 years of experience in front end domain also, they will connect with you in front end. They stuck anywhere, they also connect with you. They also connect with you. So you should be familiar with front end technologies. Front end technologies. Okay, CSS, JS, Bootstrap, and React and Angular. These all the areas you should be have the knowledge on these all the areas. Okay, the front end technologies we can organize by using client libraries. Normally, the front end technologies are the designs which will give good feel and look to the websites. But back end programming language we will do the some business logics. The business logic we can take one Java file in that we will write the business logic. Business logic. Okay, so for example, uh, uh, like if you take any state, for example, if you take the Karnataka state, in the Karnataka state, there are you can take there are 2000 colleges, BTech colleges, and then again each college have the we can take a 3 branches: CSC, EC, and then we can take AR, IT. So in that there are 2000 colleges, and every college has the three branches. Each branch has the 60 students. You can assume like that. You want to send to all the students in all 2000 colleges, meaning initial fees whoever is paid 20,000 is the basic amount, and whoever is not paid the initial amount 20,000, and you want to send one message. The message is you guys not paid at 20,000 as initial amount, so can you please pay the amount as soon as possible, like that you will send the message to them. Then the business logic where you will write that actually you can write in the Java program, that business logic. Okay, we have the maps concept. So through that can take the huge data objects, meaning we can huge data. It can store the huge data. We will use the maps topic, and then we can write the business logic. We can write the business logic. Programming language, we can write the business logic. That is the hidden part of application. Client lips are the front end. Like we can develop the user interface. Whatever the website, if you go the Amazon, Flipkart, anything, whatever the website you are looking with your eyes, whatever the things that are visible to our eyes, that we can design by using the client libraries. Client libraries. As a AM developer, you should be familiar with all the front-end technologies as well. You should be familiar with CSS, JS, React, and React, Angular. Angular. So front-end people also they will connect with you, and they will ask if they stuck anywhere while they're doing, and they will ask, they will connect with you, and then they will ask I would say the front end doubts as well. The front end technologies we can organize by using the client libraries. So what we learned in that client libraries, actually client libraries are the designs which will give good feel and look to the website. There are four properties. We discussed about the four properties. The properties are, first one we discussed about categories properties. Categories is the property to identify and access the client libraries for uniquely client libraries. For example, there are 1000 client libraries will be there, and for that specific page you wrote a CSS, and in that specific client library, then how you can identify, and then how you can access that specific client library, that you can access by using categories. Category is the name which is used to identify and access the specific client library to that specific page. Next we have allow proxy. Allow proxy is the property which can hide the actual path of the client libraries, and it will provide a other path where actually which is shows like the client library are loading from etc folder. Why we are mentioning allow proxy, meaning for security purpose. For security purpose. So we no need to expose the actual our paths, right? So if you expose, so outside people also can access. If outside people also can access, no issue. When the issue will come, when outside people can manipulate our data, outside people meaning third party persons can manipulate our data, then issue will come. So we don't give a chance to third party person to access our data. That is allow proxy property. And next one, dependencies. Dependency is the one property. And dependencies meaning, for example, there are two, three client libraries will be there. Okay, if one client library can depend other client library also, that you can use dependencies. So in Java classes, if you there are two classes. If you want to communicate one class with another class, how the classes are communicating, we will create the object, and through that you can communicate with one class to another class. Here also there are two client libraries, and if you want to communicate with the one client library to another client library, meaning if you want to access all the properties from one client library to another client library, then we can use the dependencies. We can use the dependencies. And next we have the embed property. Embed property, there are multiple client libraries. Like assume there are 10 client libraries. You want to load all 10 client libraries into a single file. You want to load all 10 client libraries into a single file, then you can use the embed property. Then you can use the embed property. There are four properties: categories, allow proxy, dependencies, and embed. Dependencies and embed. So in that, what actually, while creating the client libraries, what we did actually, client library folder. Generally, we can organize client libraries in the client library folder. If you open the apps, in that we can find out the client lib folder. In that, we can create a node, and then you can mention type as client library folder. This is a mandatory. In AEM, our data will be stored in the format of node. The node behavior completely depends on its type. Its type. Its type. If you mention like as I would say, uh, so the same node, it will be behave like as the based on the situation, it will behave a multiple behaviors. In Java, we have the I would say polymorphism, right? So same way here also, whatever the type you mention, so based on the type, it will behave based on the situation. For example, here the node, if you mention as the folder, then the node will be act as a folder. If you mention like as a page, then the node will be uh, act like as the page. If you mention like client library, then it will be like as the client library, client library folder. Okay, in that actually we created two folders. Normally, for example, if you want to organize the 100 of CSS files, 100 of CSS files, then if you directly write, then that is not a good thing, right? Actually, folders are used to organize the files, right? Then we can create one folder, CSS folder. Inside CSS folder, we will write all CSS. We will keep all CSS files. All CSS files. We will keep all CSS files. We will keep all CSS files. This is the main folder. Inside the main folder, we can assume there are two folders. CSS folder, we will keep all CSS files, and JS folder meaning we will keep all JS files, all JS files. But we have the sling resource resolution. So at that time, so directly this is the main folder, and this is the child folders. In that child folders, we have the CSS files. Directly, it cannot take the data from the CSS folders. You need to map this main folder to this child folders using css.txt. css.txt. cst.txt is the file. That file should be parallel to CSS, not inside. Okay, so most of them, whoever is doing the client libraries, So this is the mistake they did actually. They're taking css.txt inside, not inside. That you should take parallel to the CSS folder. Why? Because this is the connection. This is the mediator in between CSS and client library folder. Okay, make sure you don't take inside the CSS. You should take parallel to the CSS folder. Parallel to the CSS folder. And then here we are making the relation like this hash base equal to CSS folder, the folder name, whatever the folder name you mention, that folder name here, and that here you can mention the file names like main.css, main.css. So through that you can map the child folder to parent folder by using css.txt, css.txt, css.txt. The same thing we did in case of JS as well. We will do in case of JS as well. In case of JS as well. So these are the things we discussed about the client libraries. Four properties you should remember: categories, allow proxy, dependencies, and embed. Categories, allow proxy, dependencies, and embed. Client library folder, and if you want to organize the CSS files, you can create a CSS folder. In that you can keep all the CSS files, and css.txt should be the parallel to the CSS folder. Okay, not inside, only parallel to the CSS folder. Okay, so similar to JS also the same JS folder, and we can it can hold the all JS files, and the parallel to the JS folder we can take the js.txt. js.txt, in that you can mention hash base js equal to the file names, whatever the files you wrote, that file names you can mention. So that through that you can access all the files which are available in the CSS or JS files. We can access all the files. We can access all the files. So this we discussed in the client libraries. In this area, any questions, anyone? Client libraries.
No, sir.
Client libraries, no issue, right?
Yes, sir.
Front end technologies, we can organize, we can organize by using the client libraries only. Client libraries only. Okay, so backend logic we will write the Java, and that front end we will use the designs, everything we can use. I would say client libraries, and then we will use the client libraries. Next we have the yes experience fragment. This is the one the topic you guys are requested. Experience fragment. Experience fragment meaning fragment meaning a piece. Experience meaning a page. Normally, any website, like if you want to design header and footer, okay, header is also one page. Meaning header is also a part of the page only, right? That is a small part, and footer is also a part of the page, but that is a small part. That you can design the small parts using experience fragment, and that can I would say we can directly add on the page. So I would say making web page through the experience fragment, we can make a very less time, a very less time. So that is the advantage with the experience fragment. That that we can do that we can do very less time. We can create the experience fragment. Generally, The process, how to create the experience fragment. Process is very important. How to create the experience fragment. XF is the shortcut for the experience fragment. So here, the template creation. Whatever the steps we followed in case of template creation, the same steps we can follow. We followed in case of experience fragment also. So for template creation, what are the steps? Page component, and actually next we have template type, and next we have template, and next we have enable the template, and next we have create create new pages using new template, a new template. These are the steps we followed in case of template creation. Page component, basically Adobe team they provided. So initially at the time of 2019-18, page component also will create manually. Okay, so at the time of 2006, 6.3, which has released in 2018 year, in that they bring us to this page component, predefined component. They bring us a predefined component. A predefined component they bring us. So with the help of this page component is the predefined one, and with the help of I would say that we basically will use as the page component as the default one. Based on that, we will create our custom component, our custom component. And in the template type, so where actually the template types are available, that is also very important question. So storage location is very important location, or where actually config folder, and we have settings, WCM, config. I would say our project name, the project name, demo, settings, WCM, and template types. Template types. So in that template types, page template is already predefined one, so we can copy that one and then we can paste. We can give the path of that custom component, where you can give the path. There are three modes in the template level. There are three modes: initial, and we have the structure, and we have layout. So in the initial, you can go to initial and then JCR. In that JCR, you should click on the JCR. There you should give the connection to template type to page. Template type to page. So template type and a page component, they both are interlinked together using these three modes. These two modes, initial and structure. And initial, open the initial. In that we have the JSR. There you should give the custom component, whatever the custom component we created, that path you should give there. So through that they both are interlinked together using JSR sling resource type. We will mention as the custom component path. So through that they both are interlinked. And in the template type, so once the template type is completed, template is the replica of template type. Template is the replica of template type. So where you can create the templates. So in the template, you can remember two paths. One is the creation path. One is the creation path, and second one is the storage path, where you can create the template tools. Tools meaning am start.html, and that we have the tools, and we have the generals. Go to the general. and where you have the console, that is the templates console. In that you can go to that, and then you can create the template by using this template type. Whatever the template type you created, based on the template type you can create the template. Next, once the template is created, template a template in by default which is in draft state, by default which is in the draft state, you should enable that. Draft meaning the template created but not ready to use, that you should enable. If you enable the template, then the template is ready to use. The template is ready to use. Enable the template. Enable the template. And with the help of template, you can create the new pages. You can create the new page. This we did in case of template creation. Experience fragment is also same. Whatever the steps we followed in case of template creation, the same steps should follow in case of experience fragment also. Experience fragment also the same steps. So Adobe team they provided was XF page component. XF page component. This is the page component. We will use the page component, the default page component we will use. And with the help of this page component, template type, XF template type, XF template type, we can create the XF template type. So where actually the template types are available, the same folder. So the same, I would say, config, demo, settings, WCM, and template types. Template types. So in that we have the XF predefined template type. So we will use predefined ones only. Predefined ones only. So after that, we will create the template, XF template. We will create the XF template. We will create the XF template. So XF template also you should remember the path. The path is, I would say, aim start.html, start.html. So you will get the navigation page. In that navigation main page, main start.html navigation, and then we have the XF fragment console. So there you can go to that location, and then you can create XF. This is the creation path. And once the XF is created, XF template is created, that will be stored in the, this is the storage path. So the same in case of template, what how we did, the same we're doing in case of experience fragment also. So which actually config and a demo project. Okay, next settings, WCM, and templates. Next, here we can create the templates, meaning we can design the header and footers, and that header and footer, if you want to use the on the page directly, we cannot use. So if you want to call that whatever the custom experience fragment we created, we will use the experience fragment. This experience fragment is the predefined component. Experience fragment. Experience fragment is the predefined component. This is the predefined component. We will use that predefined component, and with the help of that component, we can map with whatever the component we experience fragment we created. That we can map by using experience fragment. Experience fragment. But actually, um, I'll show you slide startation. So see, this is the experience fragment console. Simply can go inside and where actually AM gigs fragments and then US EN page and then site. This is the header and footer. This is the header and footer. So header and footer, which is a part of web page, right? A part of web page, meaning a piece of web page. So I would say experience fragments. We can create. We can create actually, which is also similar to small piece of the page that we can create a small pieces of the page and directly can add that to that specific page. A fragment meaning you can say a piece or you can say a group of components also. Group of components meaning actually the both a piece of the page and we can say a group of components. A group of components is called a fragment. This will. So for example, if you want to design the header and like if you can take like Amazon on I would say if you want to design the footer of Amazon, how they design the footer of that Amazon, you can create one folder in the CRXT and then you can take that client libraries of that specific component and then you can write the CSS and attributes. Okay, and that component you can give here. So you can see here how they design the header. Quick search. So like that, if you created a few of the components, for example, Amazon is the website. Normally, I will show you. This is the Amazon, and this is the header, how the design. And if you go to the footer, this is the footer. Normally, if you want to design this footer, how you can design? Normally, you can think, okay, without normally, if you want to design this one, how you can design normally through the CSS. In the CSS, we have the semantics, right? We will use the semantics and then through that you can design. Through that you can design. Normally, this we can take it as the one div. This is the one div, and this all we can take it as the spam tags, careers, blog, about Amazon. This all we can take it as, and how we can we will use the grid in the CSS. We have the grid system. So in that grid system, we will use the grid system, and then we can so we can design this one within 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so like that you can design. I would say uh, a footer. Okay, the same properties and all you can write in the client libraries, and then you can mention as the footer component, and that footer component directly you can come to here client libraries. Here you can add, and that client library you can add in the experience fragment. You can add in the template level that it will be affect to all the pages. Whatever the pages you want to display the header and footer, that it will be affect to all the pages. That it will be affect to the all the pages, header and footer, and the common mostly the common content we can design by using the header and footer. Normally, you might be asked like without experience fragment also we can create header and footer. Then we can directly can able to add in the page. why we are going to the experience fragment meaning. So we can group the components together, meaning, for example, normally how the page it should be header and the section tag, and bottom we have the footer. Bottom we have the footer. Header might be you can group together few of the components. Few more components also can group together. You can group together few more components also. So that we can do by using experience fragments. And this is the easy way actually. If you normally on the page, if you add the components, so compared to that one experience fragment, we can group together all the components, and wherever we want to that specific content, you can simply you can add the experience fragment to that component, and then you can give that the specific path, and then you can it can easily render on that page. So experience fragment meaning a group of components we can make a web page, small web page, header and footer. So like that uh, you can create so that we can directly give a path, the specific path on the page. This is a brief about experience fragment. So in this, any questions experience fragment? Guys, in this area, any question experience fragment? Yes, am I audible? Guys, please respond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any questions experience fragments?
No, sir.
Nothing, sir.
So with this, I give a I hope you guys clear with you requested these topics: sling model, STL, and OIJ configurations, and we have the experience fragment, and next client lips. So I hope these all the topics are clear: sling model, STL, OIJ configuration, experience fragment, and client lips. I hope these all these all are clear, right?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So after this, so let us today we'll start with a new topic, that is testing. Unit testing. So very important concept, guys. Very important concept, that is unit test. One second, guys. Unit testing. What is the process of unit testing? And then I also will try to understand one by one. Unit testing meaning it is the process of testing individual components of software program. It is the process of it is the process of testing components of software program. Okay. So unit testing is used to identify the bugs in our code. Unit testing unit testing is used to identify the bugs in our code. Bugs in our code. Next, with the help of unit testing, I would say we can provide the quality code. Next point is, with the help of unit testing, we can provide the quality code. We can provide the quality code. And next point is, with the help of unit testing, with the help of unit testing, we can provide bug-free code. We can provide bug-free code. Bug-free code. Bug-free code. To perform unit testing, we will use JUnit and Mockito frameworks. To perform unit testing, we will use JUnit and I can say JUnit and Mockito frameworks. Mockito frameworks. So what is unit testing? Unit testing, it is the process of testing components of software program, testing individual component of individual components of software program. Unit testing is used to identify the bugs in our code, and with the help of unit testing we can provide the quality code. With the help of unit testing we can provide the bug free code. To perform unit testing, we will use JUnit and Mockito frameworks. JUnit and Mockito frameworks. JUnit and Mockito frameworks. Next question is, what is JUnit and what is Mockito? This is the next question, right? Next question is, what is JUnit and what is Mockito? What is JUnit and what is Mockito? This is the next question. So generally, JUnit is a framework. JUnit is a framework, and which is used to implement the unit testing for Java applications. Implement the unit testing. You implement unit testing for Java applications. For Java applications. For Java applications. Java applications. Next point is, unit testing should done for individual components. That is called as isolated testing. unit testing should done for individual components. That is called isolated testing. Isolated testing. Isolated testing. Next point is to implement isolated unit testing. We will use the mocking. To implement isolated unit testing, we will use we will use mocking. We will use mocking. We will use mocking. So what is mocking? So mocking is the process of what is mocking? Mocking meaning mocking is the process of creating. Mocking is the process of creating substitute substitute objects for real objects. For real objects is called mocking. Is called as mocking. Is called as mocking. Okay. Next, actually, to perform mocking, there are several frameworks available in the market. To perform mocking, to perform mocking, there are several mock frameworks are available in the market. There are several mocking frameworks available in the market. Mocking frameworks available in the market, like examples are, I would say, Easy Mock, and I would say Mockito, and next Power Mockito, next actually you can say Wire Mock. So these are several frameworks which are available in the market. In the market, these are the frameworks available in the market. To perform the mocking, there are several mocking frameworks available in the market. Easy Mock, Mockito, Power Mockito, Wire Mock. These are the several. These are the several frameworks available in the Mockito. These are several frameworks are available in the market. Can you please read all these points on 1 or 2 minutes? What is unit testing? Unit testing, it is the process of testing individual components of software program, and unit testing is used to identify the bugs in our code. And with the help of unit testing, we can provide the quality code. And with the help of unit testing, we can provide the bug-free code. And to perform unit testing, we will use the JUnit or Mockito. JUnit and Mockito. JUnit and Mockito frameworks. Next, what is JUnit and what is Mockito? JUnit is the framework which is used to implement a unit testing for the Java applications. Next, unit testing should done for individual components. That is called as isolated testing. Next, to implement isolated unit testing, we will use the mocking. We will use mocking. Mocking is the process of creating substitute objects for the real objects. Is called mocking. And to perform mocking, there are several mocking frameworks available in the market. Those are like Easy Mock, Mockito, Power Mockito, and Wire Mock, etc. So this is very very important. Mocking is the process of creating substitute objects for real objects. Is called mocking. Is called mocking. Is called mocking. is called Moki. Can you please read these all points one minute?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Next we have the what is code coverage? What is code coverage? Code coverage. Code coverage meaning. So generally, code coverage meaning it is used to identify the meaning how many lines of code is tested as part of unit testing and how many lines of code is not tested as part of unit testing. We can check by using code coverage. It is used to identify how many lines of code is tested. Code is tested as part of unit testing and how many lines of code is not tested as a part of unit testing. Unit testing. Code coverage meaning it is used to identify how many lines of code is tested as part of unit testing and how many lines of code is not tested as part of unit testing. Unit testing. Next, next point is next point is according to the industry standards, as per industry standards, industry standards, industry standards is 80% code coverage is required. 80% code coverage is required. Code coverage. So, for example, if you are writing a unit test cases for any program, so according to the industry standards, that should be more than 80%. More than 80%. More than 80%. Okay, so next point is to identify the code coverage. To identify the code coverage. Code coverage. We will use. We can use. We can use Jacoco plugin. We can use Jacoco plugin. Can use Jacoco plugin. Can use Jacoco plugin. So this is actually a brief about unit testing, meaning what is unit testing and what is JUnit and Mockito. Okay, JUnit and Mockito are the frameworks and what is code coverage. What is code coverage? For example, I will go with the I would say gradually, meaning for example, gradually we'll get the uh, complete on it. We'll go with the basics. Normally, for example, now my requirement is I would like to take one Java class. The Java class is name I would like to mention some calculator. Calculator is the Java class, and in that I took method. The method is actually public int add method. For that method, I am passing two parameters. I am passing two parameters int comma int p. Parameters meaning parameters are the variables which will have the values that we can pass to the method to perform some operation, that are parameters. Parameter, this is the method declaration. In that method declaration, you can define like what is the method name and what are the parameters and what the method has to return, what the method has to return. So that all the things you can mention in the method declaration. Okay, I mentioned here all the things. Now here I am doing some return a plus b, a plus b. Okay, fine. Now here actually what is happening, I'm taking two parameters, I'm doing addition operation. This is a normally simple program. This normally simple program. So for this simple program, I want to write a test cases. This is the simple program. For this simple program, I want to write a test cases. Normally, how you can write. So we will use the JUnit framework, and then through that you can write the test cases. For example, this is the normal. This is called normal target class. This is the target class. I will tell you what is target class and what is test class. And here I'm writing test class. Test class I can take as normally calculator test class, calculator test class, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class. And inside, we have the one more method, public void, like a test add method or anything. You can take test add method. Okay, fine. And from here to here, this is the scope of the calculator test. Now there are two classes. One is the calculator class, and this is the calculator test class. Now how you can make the relation between two classes by creating the object, right? By creating the object. Okay, obviously. Then you can create the object. Where you can create the object? You can create the object inside the test add method. Okay, you can create the object calculator, and then I would like to create object name, and that object data type is class name calculator. And now what I'm doing, I'm calling. So this is the instance object, instance method. By default, instance method won't execute. We need to call. I created the object. Now I am calling the instance method. Call dot instance method is add, and here actually I'm passing some values like some 20, comma some 50. I'm passing. Okay, so in that case, I'm calling that one, that I can actually I'm storing in one reference variable that is actually enter data type, and this is actual result actual result. And I would like to take one more variable, that is the expected result expected result. So expected result is, so 20 plus 70 is I would say 20 plus 50 is 70. 70 is the expected result. And here I am using asset dot asset equals to asset equals to asset equals to the method. In that I am validating actual result comma expected expected result expected result. Now, so actual result and expected result, the both are same, then only your test case will pass. Then only your test case will pass. If both are not same, then your test case will fail. That your test case will fail. Okay. If actual result, expected result are same, I will say that the test case is working as expected. My test case is working as expected. Then my test case is passed. Then I can consider my test case is passed. Then I can consider my test case is passed. So this I can show you the practically as well. You can get the better clarity on it. Normally, I will use IDE. Can take any IDE. For example, I am going with the Eclipse IDE. Now you can create the project. I hope you already normally you know like how to create normal Java project and how you can create the demo project. And this is the normal project only. In that normal project, you can create one package. So in my case, I'm creating one package. For creating the package, the shortcut is Control N. So there are two ways you can create. Shortcut is one way. So recommended approach is shortcuts. Why? Because ID, the main purpose of ID is only for the shortcuts only, right? So you should be familiar with the shortcuts. Shortcuts to the shortcuts is the one way. And second way is you can click on the SRC and then go to new, and then again here you can whatever you want to package, you can select on the package. You want to class, you can select now. This is the one approach. And second approach is directly shortcut. Shortcut is Control N. Directly you can get the one widget. Directly you can get the one widget. In that you can look for the package. Go to that package and then you can mention the package name. I mention the package name as the mock. I can mention the package name as the mock. And then click on that. So one package got created. One package got created. Okay, fine. Now I would like to create one more class that I would mention calculator. That I would mention, select the class, and that I could mention class. Class name is the calculator. Calculator. Click on that calculator, and now the class has created. Now actually we'll take the same whatever I told you here. The same thing I will tell you. So we'll go with the gradual one by one. We can go ahead with public int add method, and from here to here this is the scope of the int method, and then here I pass two parameters int a comma int b, and here if the method has the return type, it has to return the same value. Return type a plus b. Return type a plus b. So this is a simple Java program. This is a simple Java program. For this, you can write the test cases. So how you can write? So you can create a test classes. For creating test classes, we have the JUnit framework. This ID already integrated with the JUM framework. Okay, no need to add any external paths and all. If you click on mock and right click on it, Control N, and here you can look for the JUnit test cases. JUnit. You will get the directly JUnit test case. How you can open, I will show you one more time. Go to the package and Control N is the shortcut, and here you can look for the JUnit test cases. JUnit test cases. Click on that. Now here you can give the class name. The class name you can give anything. Calculator dot. I'm giving test. Calculator dot test. So one test class created, and this is the framework annotation. Other test is the framework annotations. Okay, now method name is the test, and inside the method my class is the calculator. And if you want to call that class to this class, how you can call, you should create the object for that this class. I'm creating the object calculator. Object got created. That object I'm storing one reference variable cal, and then the class name is calculator. Object is created. Now I would validate the actual result and expected result. I would call the method. My method is add method. Here I would like to mention some values like 10 comma 20 or 30, anything I would like to mention. This again I can store with actual result is the variable name, and similarly int expected result equal to, I would like to mention some 30, and then now here asset equals, here I would like to mention actual result and expected result, and then actual I'm saving this one. Now I am running this one. You can see the test case is passed. Now here the if I change my result, for example I will change to some 50, and then I am saving the my file, and then I'm running this one. Now you can see the test case has failed. The test case has failed. The test case has failed. So in this case, what you guys observed here, this is a normal Java program. For this program, I want to validate actual result and expected result. The both are same or not. If the both are same, then you can consider your test case is working as expected and your test case is passed. If it is not working as you expected, then you can consider your test case is not working as expected and your test case is not passed. Your test case is not passed. Your test case is not passed. Okay, so I'm creating an object for calculator class, and here this is the actual result. Actual result is 10 comma 20 is 30, and expected results also should be same. So then only our test case will pass. I'm saving this one, and again I'm running this one, and again I'm running this one. I'm running this one. Okay, fine. So here I will go to the program. So here the question is, what is target class and what is test class? What is target class and what is test class? What is target class and what is test class? Target class meaning for which class we are performing the unit testing. For which class we are performing the unit testing. Unit testing, that is called target class. That is called target class. That is called target class. Next, what is test class? What is test class? The class which contains unit testing, unit test logic. Unit test logic is called test classes is called test classes is called test classes. Okay, the node point here is, so in test classes we will use JUnit framework annotations. We will use JUnit framework annotations. We will use JUnit framework annotations. I hope this is clear. Like in this case, this is the target class. This is the target class, and this is the test class. This is the test class. This is with respect to only one method. For example, what happens if the it has the few more methods, then how you can handle in that case. For example, here I would like to take one more method, like public int. I would like to take some multiplication from here to here. Here I would like to take int mm, int b. Here you can take the variables, or we can take with some different variables. Return multiplication a into b, right? You can take it as a into b. So the parameters you can pass the same or different, anything you can pass. Okay, method name is varying int b or return a into b. You can do it as multiplication, and you can mention as the c and then d. And then you can take one more method like a public enter. All are same, all are same. So this is the first scenario is with respect to only one method, and now we are doing with like how we can check with respect to more methods. With respect to more methods. With respect to more methods. So here also you can take it as the I would say the parameters into a comma and b, and then here you can mention as the return value or return value some a minus b, a minus b. Okay, fine. Now we can go to the test class. Now you need to validate all methods actual result and expected result, both are same or not. You can validate. You can validate. You can validate. How you can validate? So this is with respect to one method. This is with respect to one method. We can do with respect to all remaining methods as well. Like we created all the object, and we can mention as int. We can call the method actually. Call is the object dot int. I would say the method name multiplication, right? Multiplication, we took three methods. Multiplication, substitute. Yeah. Call object dot multiplication is the method. In that you can mention some. I would like to mention some 100 and 22, meaning the result is 200. The actually I'm mentioning in result is actual, and in the expected equal to 200. 200, and here same I would like to take a set equal to asset equals to, here you can mention actual and expected. This is with respect to multiplication method. The same thing you can do with respect to some subtraction method also can do. Can mention subtract some 40, and here you can mention some 20, and then again you can store in one refer. I would say you can mention the data type is int, and the actual result, actual result 2, I can mention as the 2, and here also I can mention as the expected result, expected result 2 equal to dot 20. I mentioned 20. The same thing, asset dot equals to asset equals to, okay, this is with respect to total three methods, total three methods. So in my case, you can see all places I am taking input, I mean actual result and expected result both are same. So in this case, if I run this if I run this test class, then it will be work 100%. It will be work. So if I click on that, you can see here. So the test case is working as my expected. For example, here I will change instead of 20, I can mention some 50, and then I can save the file, and then now again I can able to run the file, able to run the file. So you can see here my test case is not working. My test case is not working. So here when I mention only the correct values, I can save. Now here I can change with some 250. I will mention with some 250, and then I can save this one. If I run this one, so my test key is also failed. So where all the methods, I can save this one. Now you can see my test class is passed. My test class is passed. So this is how, like if you have many methods also, we will write the test classes, and then we can, I would say, we can check all the methods is working as our expected or not. We can check by using, by writing the test cases, by writing test cases, by writing test cases. The next question is, Next question is, I hope as of so far this is clear, like what is core coverage, how does we got the clarity, like what is code coverage and what is target class and what is test class. Target class means for which class we are performing the unit testing, that is called target class. Test class meaning the class which contain unit test logic is called test classes. That is called test classes. Next, in test classes we will use the JUnit, JUnit framework annotations. In IDE, in Eclipse IDE, so JUnit framework is already that is integrated with that IDE. Okay, so no need to again add the dependencies to that IDE. Okay, that is already added, that is already available in the IDE. So if you want to write the test cases, so simply you can click on the control N and then look for the JUnit test cases and then click on JUnit test cases, and there you can give the class name. There you can give the class name and then you can write the test cases and what we done here. So you can practice the few of the programs on that. You can get the basic clarity, meaning what is target class and what is test class and what we are doing. Okay, the basic clarity you will get. So after that, the next question we have, why to go for the mock objects? That is the next question. The next question is, why to go for the mocking? Why to go for mock objects? This is the next question. This is the next question. In this here, actually, for example, we'll try to understand few of the points. I will write a normal program. For example, I will take some class, public class user service IMPL. This is the one class you can assume, and this is the service, and this service I can normally can annotate with in AM we will component you can convert into the service, right? So that is the normal service only. So here I am directly mentioning as the service, and any service you can include one service to another service by using at the rate reference annotation, right? So here also can assume at the rate reference annotation, at the rate reference annotation, and in that in that you can call the service. For example, if you want to call, if any class which we created the service in the package, that we can call here private. For example, that the service name, if I mention like as the user DAO service, this is the service name. This is a custom service name. You can assume user DAO service name and that object name. User DAO is the object name. User DAO is the one object. Okay, now I can take one method. Public boolean is the one method, and then I'm taking the method name is the save user, and for that save user I will be pass as one input. I will pass as a user as the input. Okay, I'm class on class object I am passing as input to the method. Okay, this is the service layer method. This service layer method which will be depend on one method also, which will be depend on other class method also. That This is the object name, you can mention as the object name, and that this is the object. User DAO is the object. User DAO dot, I can say save dot user, save user. So here what actually I'm doing, this is the service layer. This is the service layer method. In that service layer method, that is depending on one more class method. This is the another class method. This is the another class method, and this service layer method is depending on one class method. One class method. Okay, user DAO method, and from that we are calling the save method, and that here we will write some business logic, meaning the we will write some business logic and all. We will write. Correct. So generally, the thing here is we'll try to understand few points about why to go for the mocking. Why to go for mocking objects? We'll try to understand few of the points about the why to go for the mocking. So in the above program, so generally in above program, in above program, in above program, our service method is depend on DO method. In above program, our service method depends on DO method. DO method is this one. DO. DO is the object and save is the method. Meaning this is service layer method. In above program, service layer method. Service layer method depends on another class method. Another class method. That is the one point you should consider. And next point is to test the service layer method. To test the service layer method, to test the service method, to test the service method, we need to use mock objects. We need to use mock objects instead of real objects, instead of real objects, instead of real objects, instead of real objects. So in real time, we will use mock objects in real time. In real time, we will use in real time we will use mock objects for mock objects mock objects for isolated unit testing. Isolated isolated unit testing. Isolated unit testing. Unit testing. Here the node point is so we will create a dummy objects and we will inject the service for that unit testing, and that method will execute with the mock do object, and then this process is called mocking. So the node point is we will create we will create dummy DAO object. Dummy DAO object. We will create a dummy DAO object, and we will inject dummy DAO object, and we will inject into the service for unit testing. Service for unit testing, and the service method will execute. Service method will execute dummy DAO and service method will execute with mock DO object with mock DO object mock DAO object, and this process is called mocking. This process is called this process is called mocking. So instead of using the real objects, we will use some dummy objects, and through that we can check methods is working fine or not. We can check the methods is working fine or not. We can check the methods is working fine or not. That creating dummy objects is called mocking. That creating dummy objects is called mocking. So what happens, like if why we are not directly real objects, meaning there is one issue. The issue is the issue is like if you use the real DAO object, if you use the real DAO objects, if you use the real DAO objects to test service methods, to test service methods, to test service methods, then it will insert the data. It will insert the data into the database. Then it will insert the data. It will insert the data. Insert the data into the database. Into the database. This is not a recommended approach, right? This is directly with the real objects. That is not a good thing. It is not recommended. It is not recommended. It is not recommended. So for mocking purpose, we will create we will use some dummy DAO objects, and through that we can check our methods is working fine or not. Our methods is fine or not. We will use the mocking concept. Mocking concept. So if you use the real DAO objects, then the changes, meaning it might be effect on the database. It might be effect on the database. So this is the not recommended approach. So this is the one issue. This is the one drawback. Okay. So how to overcome drawback? To overcome this one, to overcome the problem, so we will perform the unit testing. To overcome above problem, we will perform we will perform unit testing. We will perform unit testing with mock objects. With mock objects, we'll perform unit testing with mock objects. We'll create mock objects. So mocking meaning it is the process of creating substitute object for real object is called mocking. Mocking meaning it is the process of creating substitute objects for real objects. A real object is called mocking. Is called mocking. Is called mocking. So can come down here. Yeah. Can you please revise all these points? So tomorrow we'll see like how to do the code coverage and how we can write the test cases for the Java programs. So today you can practice. You can practice. You can go ahead with this. I would say the document, like you can try to understand what is unit testing and what is the frameworks and what is code coverage, and you can write a few Java programs, and then you can understand what is going on. Okay, so any questions in this area, in this document? Can you revise all these topics once again? What is unit testing? What is JUnit and Mockito? And what is code coverage?
Can you share that document also, sir?
Yes, yes, this document I will share with you. Can you guys please revise this one? Any questions you have, you can let me know. Unit testing, JUnit and Mockito.
No, sir, no questions.
Okay. Assignments also completed, guys. Anyone is stuck anywhere? I would say multi-field, nested multi-field. Done.
No, sir. Done, sir.
No issues. Assignments are done, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So today, what you guys will do? In the IDE, you can practice few of the programs on this. You can take a normal Java programs, and then you can try it with like uh, writing few of the test classes, and then you can check actual result and expected result, and then you can check your test case is working fine or not. You can check. You can check. Okay. So this video also I will be
Okay,
uploaded
sir.
to my drive, and then you can check after 20 minutes and all. Can go through and then you can check. Any other questions, anyone?
No, no questions.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, fine, guys. So That's it today. So please go through that and do the assignments, and then if you stuck anywhere, you can ping on the chat. Okay, we'll be help you. Okay,
Yeah, sure, sir. We will.
Yes, sir.
so that's it. I'm leaving. So thank you guys. So we'll meet on the
Yeah, thank you, sir.